if you notice, the two objects here are relatively close to one another, but they're also close to this third object in the background. And the third object, whether it's the tray on which they're sitting or another additional object, does provide the opportunity for these reflections. Now, it may well be that your subject is not reflective enough to allow you for that to happen. I don't know. But I think what makes even these interesting, and even if you forget all that, I noticed that the light hitting this particular little object, the hip flask, the surface of it is broken up into all sorts of funny shapes, and they're being picked up from what's around in the room. And that's why I included them. And then at the same time, those shapes are then reflected down into the tray on which they're sitting. Okay. So if you've got your shapes a long way away from each other, you're obviously not going to have the same sort of thing happening as this is happening here, but you might well be getting your reflective shape picking up things from around the object that are outside the picture frame that we can't see. So that's one thing to bear in mind, and maybe take a fresh look at your own subject if you haven't gone too far with it. The other thing that arose from Sally sending in hers this week, and I hope you won't mind me saying this, Sally, is that Sally put in the surface on which the objects were placed, and she said to me she wanted to have something that would act as a good strong contrast to the objects themselves, and I think that's fair enough. Excepting that, I'd always be a bit cautious about putting the full strength of the context in until I'd actually finished the main subject. I think that it's important to complete the main subject and then assess it and think, well, what would work best with these? The other thing I was going to say was that probably the background table or wall or whatever it is should be relatively neutral. You don't make it a big strong color statement that's going to fight with the subject, because in this instance it's the reflections and the distortions, I think, that are the most interesting thing. Can I remind you all that where possible, try and do wet into wet, so they don't get you're not just filling in shapes, you're actually blending the tones across, like I'm trying to do here. So you can dampen the paper first with water and then go back to it when it's just about right to lay the next color in. So you're not working just wet on top of dry.